It's a pleasure to welcome all of you to today's Let the Citizen Know encounter. And we bring you warm greetings from the Electoral Commission. We'd like to thank you for taking the trouble to join us for this media encounter on the upcoming district level election. On Tuesday, the 19th of December 2023, eligible voters in this country will go to the polls to cast their vote to elect new assembly and unit committee members to the various district assemblies and unit committees. The purpose of this engagement this afternoon is to share with the good people of Ghana and the media the Electoral Commission's preparedness to ensure a peaceful and successful conduct of the district level elections, which I mentioned come off tomorrow, Tuesday, the 19th of December, 2023. We welcome you once again. The district level election is a term which connotes district assembly election and the unit committee election. Both elections are held every 4 years to elect members to the assembly and unit committees. The tenure of the current members ends in 2023, hence the fresh call for the elections which take place tomorrow. As mentioned earlier, the district assembly and unit committee elections will be held in all the electoral areas and in all districts, with the exception of the Nkranza North and the Nkranza South districts in the Bono East region. I'd like to emphasize again that voting will take place in all polling stations, in all electoral areas across the country, with the exception of the Nkranza North and Nkranza South districts in the Bono East region. This is because both districts had their elections in 2021 instead of 2019. Hence, the term of office of the Assembly and the Unit Committee of those two districts will expire in 2025. Voting, as you all know, will commence at 7 a.m. and end at 5 p.m. in all polling stations across the country. All eligible voters are therefore expected and urged to go to their respective polling stations to cast their votes. Registered voters whose voter identity cards are missing can still go to their respective polling stations to cast their votes, since their particulars are already in the final register. And also their particulars have been incorporated and uploaded in the biometric verification devices, and therefore voters who have misplaced their voters' ID cards are still encouraged to go to their respective polling centers to cast their votes. As part of the Commission's preparations towards the conduct of the district level elections, the Commission undertook some major activities, most of which you are aware of, and we engaged you extensively on those activities. The activities include the limited registration exercise, the exhibition of the voters' register. We also had a period for the transfer of votes, and also the receipt of nominations from prospective candidates, as well as the mounting of platforms across the country. In most of these activities, we engaged you and you worked with us and provided adequate, relevant information to the citizenry, for which we are grateful. I must emphasize that all categories of election officials have been recruited and trained at the national, regional, and district levels to prepare them adequately for their respective duties. In all, some 116,701 election officials have been trained and equipped for the district level elections. They include returning officers, deputy returning officers special duties, presiding officers, key trainers and technicians, verification officers, and ballot issuers, amongst others. Almost all, and I would say that all our election materials and equipment required for the district level elections have been procured in sufficient quantities and dispatched to the various regions and districts. The notice of poll have been posted at advantage areas at all polling stations and electoral areas across the country. Ballot papers for the DLE have also been printed and dispatched to the various regions and districts under police escort. And this is with the exception of some districts in the eastern region, which are currently being dispatched as we speak. But I'd like to emphasize that all ballot papers for the DLE have been printed and dispatched to the various regions and districts under police escort, with the exception of some districts in the eastern region which are being dispatched as we speak. The final register of all 38,315 polling stations have been printed and dispatched to the various regions and districts. The biometric verification devices, which will be used to verify voters in the elections, have also been dispatched. In total, 71,775 BVDs have been refurbished and deployed to the various regions and districts, and this will be used to verify each voter who comes to the polling station to cast their vote. This, of course, includes backups, which may come to use should the main BVDs deployed for this activity fail. We have a sufficient number of backup BVDs, that is biometric verification devices, in all districts across the country, which could be relied upon should the ones that we have as the main ones fail. We also have well-trained technicians who have been deployed to the regions and to the various zonal centers to provide technical support should that become necessary. As I mentioned, the Commission mounted platforms for all candidates contesting in the district assembly and unit committee elections in all the electoral areas across the country. The exercise started on the 1st of December and ended yesterday, Sunday, the 17th of December, 2023. We have also engaged extensively with the security agencies, and just a few weeks ago, we ignited, under the auspices of the Ghana Police Service and under the auspices of the IGP, the security, what is that? The election security task forces across the country. And they've been ignited at the district, regional, and national levels. The Commission has to date submitted the list of all polling stations across the country to the security agencies. And we are expecting and we are hopeful that they will provide security at each and every polling station across the country. In addition to that, we've also provided them a list of the flashpoint areas. And we believe that they will provide adequate security to ensure that the elections go on peacefully and without any hitch. We would like to entreat eligible voters that persons with disabilities, the aged and nursing mothers, should be given some preferential treatment at the polling stations. We do not expect that this category of persons will join long queues at the polling stations. And we entreat eligible voters to allow them to vote in a timely manner should they arrive at our polling stations. In addition, the Commission has provided tactile ballots, jackets, and ballot papers for persons who are visually impaired. And this is in no short supply across the country, and therefore persons who are visually impaired will be able to cast their votes with the use of the tactile jackets. As you may be aware, in our efforts to ensure a good turnout at this year's district level elections, we have engaged in extensive radio and TV advertisements and educational programs to sensitize the general public on the upcoming district level elections. We have conducted interviews both at the national, regional, and district levels, We have engaged various stakeholders. We have held stakeholder workshops for women, for persons with disability, for the youth. We've also conducted, and I'm sure you hear some of our jingles which go on the radio and TV, and this is across the country. So it's not just limited to the national level, but it's at the regional level and it's at the district level as well. We hope that it would encourage a positive turnout, and we'll have a turnout which is well above what we witnessed in 2019. Additionally, educational posters have also been posted in conspicuous places to inform and educate the citizens on the election. I'd like to mention that the Commission has also provided accreditation to a number of civil society organizations and development partners who have written and have applied for accreditation. As you may be aware, the media, we have a standing agreement with the media where accreditation is provided free of all charges. And so we are hopeful that and confident that the media would go and observe and cover the elections across the country. I think that I'll speak on the issue of collation. The collation of the district, assembly, and unit committee election results will be done at the respective electoral area collation centers. Winners of the two elections will be declared immediately at the collation centers, and copies of the final results will be posted on the electoral area collation centers. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to ensure that, we would like to entreat all Ghanaians to go to their polling stations to cast their votes. We have put in place adequate arrangements, and we believe that the elections will go on smoothly and seamlessly without a hitch. Experience over the years shows that this election is not highly participated in, and we would like to entreat all Ghanaians and assure them that the Electoral Commission has put in place all arrangements, all necessary arrangements and modalities have been put in place for a smooth, incident-free election, and we would like to entreat all Ghanaians to take their time to go to their polling stations to cast their votes. Let us make this election meaningful. We are all aware that development starts at the district level, and therefore it is important as citizens that we have a say and a stake in who brings development at our various districts. So on behalf of the Commission, the Electoral Commission of Ghana, I use this opportunity to urge all citizens of Ghana across the 16 regions of this country to take their time and some time to go to their polling stations to vote for members of the assembly and their units. Additionally, I would like to advise all voters to refrain from acts that will disrupt the peaceful conduct of the election. The Electoral Commission thanks you, our media partners, for your time here this afternoon. We look forward to receiving questions from you, and may God bless our homeland Ghana and make us all great and strong. Thank you very much for your time. We talked about ballots without stamps. No ballot appears or goes to any electoral area without a stamp. With a stamp. Stamps, the stamping of ballots is done at the polling station. So I don't know where you are getting your information from, but the ballots are not stamped before they are sent to the polling stations. They are done at the polling station and done on election day. So you can be sure that the ballots would have a stamp. There are stamps provided for it, and each ballot will be stamped before it becomes a legitimate. Without the stamp, it will not be legitimate. But it's important to note that we do not send ballots to the districts with stamps. Those are done at the polling station. So that's another correction that that is coming in your direction. Secondly, the issue of indelible ink. The question is, when we were not doing biometric, we were basically using your face, your card, and to look at you. We look at your face and we say, this picture looks like you. The biometric technology makes it difficult for a person who has been verified and cast their vote to come a second time. So there is no need for indelible ink, because once you have been verified, it goes into the system and you cannot come back a second time. So you can try it if you wish at this election. Of course, it will be an electoral offense. It will be deemed as an electoral offense. But because of biometric technology, your facial features are recognized or your fingerprints is recognized and verified, you cannot go a second time. And you can try it, as I said, if you wish. And therefore, there's no need for indelible ink, which had been in place since 2012, since the beginning of 2012, when we were not using biometric. This is not something that you want to continue to do for the sake of it. You have biometric technology, and therefore you've departed from the system where you look at the picture and you can go anywhere else. And for now, you cannot have more than one card. Before, you could have multiple cards because the technology was not biometric. But now, anybody who attempts to do multiple registrations is flagged out. In the same way, if you are verified, the system recognizes that you have been verified and you cannot go more than once. You'll be picked up. So that is the reason why the Commission took the decision to do away with the indelible ink. I hope I've answered your questions. Thank you. On the question of the number of security to be deployed, we've had discussions with the various security agencies, as I mentioned, the police, the customs, immigration, and fire service. We, together with the Commission, we constitute the election task force, and we are aware that for at least every polling station, there will be a security personnel there. As to how many will be deployed, we do not have. Those details, I believe, are the strategies of the Ghana Police Service and the security agencies, and we are not privy to it. But what we know is that there will be a security person, whether it is a police, immigration, from fire service or customs, they will be at each polling station across the country. I'm sure that for the flashpoint areas, we'll have beefed up security. In addition to that, they also have the patrols. So in the various localities who will be patrolling around, and to ensure that everything goes on seamlessly. And again, I know that you asked about the number of the breakdown. I think for the assembly, district assembly election for this year, the number of male who have filed their nomination is 17,474. That is 97%. And the number of female amounts to 1,106. That is 6%. That is for the district assembly election. For the unit committee, the number of male who have filed nominations as we speak is 40,923. That is 88%. And the number of female amount to 5,413. That is 11.7%. So those are the statistics. Unfortunately, we do not have many women coming up, for this election. I know you talked about the low participation, which is unfortunate because, as you know, this is a complex election. You are printing close to 14,000 different ballots with different photos for each of the electoral areas. Close to 14,000. So it's a very complex election. And so it's something, that's why you see that we've taken the trouble to do extensive advertisements. The Commission's role, per se, as in law, is to teach voters how to vote and not why to. The role to encourage them, that civic duty is the role of the NCCE. But we've taken it upon ourselves also to encourage, and that's why you hear our adverts, our jingles in over 7 dialects across the country being played on local TV, community-based radio, and televisions, regional televisions across the country, because we want to encourage people to vote. But our role is more to do with the how, to avoid the rejected ballots. The why and the provoking citizens to go and exercise their rights and their vote is the duty of the NCCE. But we know that, you know, you want to encourage a lot of people, you want participation to be high and for the elections to be meaningful. And so we go out of our way to do this. And I enumerated that we've also had stakeholder engagements with women groups, persons with disabilities, and the youth. And the whole idea is to just raise awareness and to bring more people on board. And so we hope that the efforts we put in will yield fruits and we'll see a greater number of people, you know, casting their votes tomorrow. I hope you're also going to go. It's important to note that, you know, and I think this should have been mentioned, that voting will take place in one. You know, the constituency has been created, the Guan constituency. And so for the first time, you know, that is the first time that they'll be casting their votes. As when we went to, you know, the nomination, at the time of nomination for all the other electoral areas, it had not come, the constituency had not been created. However, once, you know, the CI matured, we took steps to receive the nominations, and I must say that their ballots have been printed, so they would be voting as well tomorrow.
For more news, please visit our website graphic.com.gh or follow us on Facebook at Daily Graphic and on YouTube and Twitter at GraphicGH.
Subscribe now.